First technical glitch of the afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, 2021, and this is the first meeting, the only meeting this month of the City of Tempe Hearing Officer. My name is Vanessa McDonald. I'm the hearing officer. Joining me virtually this afternoon from Community Development Code Compliance staff are Drew Yoakum and Shelby Meyer. We have a very brief agenda this afternoon. I'm going to read something into the record, and then we can go ahead and jump into our agenda. The City of Tempe Hearing Officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer has the duty to carry out both the provisions and the intent of the Zoning and Development Code and the Tempe City Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the City of Tempe. These violations include, but are not limited to, deteriorated landscaping, inoperable vehicles, deteriorated structures, storage of junk or refuse, or deteriorated swimming pools. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after many attempts at contacting the property owner to obtain their voluntary compliance with the Tempe City Code. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, rental agent, property manager, or other responsible person to abate a code violation or authorize the city to abate the condition giving rise to that violation. The costs of such abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violation occurs and may be collected as an assessment against the property found to be in violation. On today's agenda, we have two items. Well, actually three. We have a set of minutes from January 19th, 2021, and two property abatements. Any property owner who is aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. As such, the deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on March 2nd, 2021. This brings us to the first item on our agenda this afternoon, the set of minutes, as I previously mentioned, from January 19th, 2021. I had a chance to review those minutes in the packet that I was sent by Tempe staff, and I believe they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to approve the minutes of January 19th, 2021. The second item on our agenda this afternoon is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Weary property. This is located at 1939 East Apollo Avenue. The applicant is the City of Tempe Code Compliance Department, and they are represented this afternoon by Julie Schofield. Ms. Schofield, are you there?
Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Julie Schofield. I'm a code inspector for the City of Tempe. I'm here this evening to request a 180-day open abatement for the property at 1939 East Apollo Avenue, which is in Tempe, Arizona, 85283. This case started as a complaint from a nearby neighbor, and it was for deteriorated landscaping, unregistered vehicles, and lawn parking. When I inspected the property on August 6th of 2020, I did indeed find dead trees in the backyard of the property, overheight grass and weeds, vehicles that were unregistered parked in the driveway, and vehicles that were also parked in the lawn, which is a violation. On August 6th of 2020, I mailed out a first notice giving them until the 21st of August. When I went back to the property was still in violation, but they still had more time for those big dead trees in the backyard. So on September 11th of 2020, I mailed out a final notice for the landscaping to include those big dead trees and and overheight grass and weeds. And in the meantime, before that final notice, I did have contact with the property owner's mother, and I explained to her what needed to be done and if they needed more time to contact me. On October 14th of 2020, I went back to the property. The property was still in violation, and I hung a pink hanger on the door asking for compliance or for them to contact me. On October 22nd, 2020, a citation was issued to the property owner, Jessica Weary, and she did request a court hearing, which took place on December 17th of 2020. At that time, the property owner, Ms. Weary, was found responsible for deteriorated landscaping. On January 6th, I turned in the abatement paperwork, and that brings us to today. I would like to present photos of the existing violations on the property. This is just a picture of the front yard, the property in question. I always like to include that as my first photo.
Sure.
The next photo will show that the trees have indeed been taken care of. She did cut down all the dead trees, dead vegetation for the most part. However, when I went to the property today, you can see that there is still, now there's overheight grass in the backyard of the property. And on the next photo, you'll see that there is some overheight grass and there's also a pile of tree debris. On the other photo, there is, it's just another angle to show the overheight grass and weeds in the backyard of the property. As stated before, I'm asking for a 180-day open abatement for the landscaping for any front and backyard of the property. And due to the history of this property, I was checking, and since May of 2018, we being code inspectors have been to the property 8 separate times just for the landscaping.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's quite the history. And, you know, they've been given 6 months already to bring the property into compliance. I had a question when I was going through the paperwork. There were actually 2 different abatement proposals in the packet. One was from East Valley Disaster Services, and the other was from, I believe, Artistic Land Management. And they're vastly different monetary amounts. And just because these are public records and, you know, we're doing this virtually, I wanted everyone to have an understanding of which one specifically that we would be approving this afternoon. One is for $1,500 and the other is for $4,500. So can you shed some light on that?
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. I do have 2 different bids in there, but we're going to go with the lesser of the bids, and that's the one that I included on the notice to abate was the $1,569. At this time, without the trees, naturally the abatement will be a lot lower than expected.
Okay. Okay, good. I just, you know, I had noticed that, so I wanted to double check again because we do this virtually and I wanted to understand. Staff, do we have the property owner or any other member of the public wanting to speak on this agenda item?
We've received no communication at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I agree. Thank you so much for the photographs for the property as of today. That's always really helpful. So I can see that there has been some progress, but still not enough to consider it being in compliance with the code. So I am going to go ahead, especially given the history of this property, and I'm going to go ahead and approve the 180-day open abatement you've requested in case CE 205131. Thank you, Ms. Schofield.
Thank you.
That brings us to agenda item number 3 this afternoon. This is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items for the White property. This is located at 314 East Loma Vista Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe Code Compliance, represented today by Ashley Nichols. Ms. Nichols, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Ashley Nichols, and I'm a code inspector with the City of Tempe's Code Compliance Division. And I'm here requesting a 180-day open abatement for the property located at 314 East Loma Vista Drive here in Tempe, 85282. The case was initiated after receiving a complaint on August 10th of 2020 for junk, trash, and debris items. After going out and inspecting the property, I did find it to be valid and went ahead and sent a first notice to the property owner. The property had been in a recent fire, so I allowed some additional time for them and didn't re-inspect until October and found that there had also been overheight grass and weeds. I sent a new notice to the property owner at that time. In November, on November 6th of 2020, I was contacted by an individual who's associated with the property and was listed on the water bill. His name is Randy Brown. He at that time indicated that he was taking initiative on cleaning up the junk, trash, and debris items as well as the landscape issues, and had asked for some additional time. I went ahead and granted him some time to get those taken care of. As of January 8th of 2021, the property still had not been taken care of. All the junk, trash, and debris items still remained, as well as the overheight. I went ahead and posted a final notice to the property. And on January 15th, when no improvements had been made at that time, I went ahead and posted the notice of intent to abate. And I would like to present photos that were taken today of the current state of the property.
Thank you.
This is the front landscaping of the property. It shows some of the overheight grass and weeds, as well as some of the palm frond debris around the palm tree. This is just another angle to show some of the overheight and the debris that's back there around the palm tree. And another angle to show the entirety of the front yard. And this one as well. This photo shows the junk, trash, and debris items that are located on the side of the house at the back end of the driveway.
So the gentleman that you spoke with actually didn't end up doing anything, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
This is some more junk, trash, and debris items that are located by the front door of the property.
Okay. So
And,
what's the plan, given the fact that this is a secure property with the fencing around it? How will the city work around that fence?
The abatement contractors we will work with regarding the fence.
Okay. It was just a point of curiosity because I've never seen a property that's this secure.
Yeah, I believe that was due to the fire damage.
The fire. Sure. That was probably an insurance requirement or something.
Yeah.
So, okay, staff, do we have anyone on the line wanting, either the property owner or other member of the public wanting to speak on this agenda item?
We have received no communication at this time.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, that being said, given that we have no contact with the property owners, so I can't, receive or consider their testimony, given the condition of the property as of today, which Ms. Nichols has provided to us, and just the precarious nature of this property, it definitely needs to be cleaned up. So I am going to go ahead and approve the 180-day open abatement request contained in request CE 205075. Thank you, Ms. Nichols.
Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer.
Staff, do we have any announcements?
Just one, the next hearing officer meeting will be held same as today on WebEx as well as live on Tempe 11 on March 2nd at 5 p.m.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, if that's the only staff announcement and we're done with the agenda, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.